Well, welcome back, everybody. My name is Brad. You're watching Firewood at the Furnace, and thank you all for being here today. I got a few things I want to talk to you about this morning before we get to work, and the first thing is what's sitting here behind me. I got an update on some plans that I have for that, and I'll tell you why I'm doing it. I also want to give you a little quick tour around the Woodyard here this morning. If you didn't catch last week's shorts videos that I put out, man, we have been hauling it in. So I'll show you what all that's about. And I also want to give you an update on this year's fellowship at the Furnace. Got some news on that I want to share with you, so stick around. All right, so first things first, before we get to work, this camper of ours, as you know, has sat here. This is where it lives since the channel has started. And because of this, I have got to figure out something different to do with where it lives. The Woodyard continues to grow here. We continue to expand and things continue to evolve. Some of you in the recent past have suggested that I move the camper out of the way and utilize the space that it is sitting in. And yes, the space will definitely be an advantage. But what I'm concerned about at this point is all the moving pieces that we have going on around here. The skid loader, you know, the racks there with the bundle wood in it, the dump truck backing in to dump logs, the dump trailers backing in constantly to load and deliver firewood. So I have a plan, and I found a location not very far away from here at all. And it'll be a safe location that I can move the camper to and open up all this available space, and we will be able to utilize that for firewood. So that's going to be going out of here in the next week or so. The next thing I wanted to show you is all this wood that's been brought in. If you already watched the shorts video that I put out last week, then you already saw this, but the tree service had a big job, 17 locust trees and 1 cherry tree the other day, and I was on the job working with them and helping them take these trees down and hauling the wood out. But we've got a lot of really nice locust firewood here. Some of you have messaged me and said, gosh, don't cut that up into firewood. That would be awesome for fence posts. You should have some of that milled. But there's 2 dump truck loads here. There's a little bit of cherry you can see over there, but most of it is really good diameter locust. And I'll kind of walk over here and stand in front of this so you can get an idea of the diameter, but it's pretty much like all 15 to 20 inch diameter, I would think. And all straight good stuff. And as you know, locust is awesome heating wood. So we've also got this dump truck load of cherry and ash that was brought in recently. There's another dump trailer load of locust right there. We've got our work cut out for us. So my plan now is to just start cutting rounds. I'm just going to cut the next several days and see what I can get done to get this opened up, because I've got firewood to deliver and I've got to get the dump trailer back in here. And firewood deliveries start this coming week. So that's what we're going to do today. You see I've got the saw over here on the tailgate. It's already fueled up and oiled up. I got to get the chainsaw chaps on. We're going to start right here on this wood, start piling rounds up next to the splitter, and then possibly start on the locust. So if we can get this pile cut up here this morning, get it stacked up and staged here next to the splitter, that'll open up a good little area. Then I can get this split, because this will be a greenwood order going to the 10 cord customer. Once we get that split and moved out of the way, what my plan is these long locust logs, I'll start cutting those in half and just bringing them over in about 8-foot sections and lining them up here next to the splitter where we can buck them up real easy. And then as we get them bucked up and stacked up, we'll bring some more logs over. That's the plan anyway. we're working our way through this first load here, and you can see that there was some pretty big stuff mixed into that load. This right here is oak, and it's pretty large. We'll measure it here and see. It's about 31 inches in diameter, so that'll be a lot of firewood per round out of that. But I get questions sometimes about what I do with all the nasty, gnarly stuff, and mixed in with that big stuff we just measured right there was some really gnarly big stuff. And the answer to that question is, I just don't deal with it. I could certainly chunk that up and fight with it through a single way or a four-way wedge and make decent firewood out of it, but I would rather run that box wedge, put decent wood through it, and make a lot of wood fast than to struggle and manhandle and fight this nasty, gnarly stuff. I am fortunate enough that I have a place to take it, so it's not a big deal. I'll just load it up on the dump trailer and haul it out of here. So that's what I do with stuff like that. But we're through all the major big stuff now. We're going to get into this good sized cherry and a little bit of oak. I do see an ash log up there as well. So once that's cut up, I will have room to dump this load of locust off the trailer, and I'm going to get that bucked up as well. So you just saw me running the 261 there. I was giving a 500 a little bit of a rest. I ran just about 2 tanks of fuel through that already this morning, so I figured I'd run the 261 for some of that smaller stuff there. Haven't ran it for a while, and it's good to run some fuel through it once in a while. But I figured I was giving the 500 a rest. I was going to give myself a rest and a little water break here for a second. And it's a good time to talk to you about the fellowship that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So on the live stream, I announced the tentative dates or date for the fellowship at the furnace this year, and that weekend is going to be the very first weekend of February 2024. First weekend. We have not nailed down the actual date yet. We don't know if it's going to be Saturday, Sunday, somewhere in there, but that is the weekend you should kind of check out on your calendars if you're interested in joining us. We're going to try to do it a little better this year than last year. I mean, last year turned out pretty well if you ask me, but the amount of people that showed up was just phenomenal. But if this year is going to be anything like last year, I want to try to do a couple things different. I want to have some giveaways to do at this year's event. I'm also going to try to figure out something different with the parking situation. Got a couple ideas, maybe some shuttles involved or whatever. I'm hoping that the ground is frozen. I would rather have cold weather and have the ground frozen than a mud hole. It wasn't really a mud hole last year, it was just soft. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the weather stays good. But we're going to have a showcase of Eastonmade equipment here again this year. We'll have the 916, the 1222, possibly 2 or 3 1222s. We'll have a 2228. We're going to have an Axis, and who knows what else might show up. So I'm working on that to possibly get a couple, maybe another machine or two. We'll see what happens. You'll have to stay tuned on that. But it's going to be a great event just by having the people here. So the first weekend in February will be the date. It's very possible that Andrew Easton will be making an appearance again this year to answer all of your questions. But Jeffrey, the newest employee, the newest sales rep of Eastonmade Wood Splitters, will be here as well. So any questions you have about this equipment, I'm sure he will be able to answer, and Andrew will be here to talk to you all as well. So again, just put that on your calendars if you're interested. There'll be more information coming out on that soon. I'm going to try to get some kind of form on the website so that people can mark down if they're planning on coming. I'd like to keep an idea of where people are coming from this year and who might be bringing what equipment. So just stay tuned to the channel for all that. There'll be more information coming as the weeks go on. So I'm going to finish this bottle of water and we'll get back to cutting. We got that pile all knocked down, all bucked up. A lot of cherry, a lot of oak, all stacked up over here next to the splitter. And what's left laying there, I'm going to get the skid loader and kind of clean that area up, smooth it out a little bit before I back this load of locust in, and we'll dump that off. I got to sharpen the saws and we'll get cutting on that. Well, we cleaned up the rest of that junk there laying, kind of straightened up the ground, smoothed it out a little bit, and it's ready for the next load, which is coming right now. But also hauled out a lot of the junk that we put over here, that big gnarly stuff that I showed you earlier. It is gone, and we're gonna dump that load of locust right there, right now. Forgot my chaps. Well, we did it. That's all done. That part anyway. The big dump truck load of cherry, oak, and a little bit of ash is done. And then that dump trailer load of locust is now done. As far as cutting goes, you can see the pile there. We got plenty of splitting to do. And we've got plenty more to cut, but it's a good start. And we're opened up, and I took some time to clean up there a little bit. My little totes there that I have that I put my scraps in and trash and just ugly stuff that I get rid of, it's loaded in there. I emptied those totes into the dump trailer, and I'll just take you over here and show you all the beautiful locust. Really good stuff. Plus, we still got all that. We're gonna have lots of locust. Lots of locust. So with that, I am gonna call it a day. My butt is pretty much whooped. It's still pretty warm out, but I guess it was around 81, 82 degrees today, and the 10-degree difference is a welcome change. I'm looking forward to fall. I know a lot of people enjoy summertime, I do too, but when you're doing this stuff, I like the cooler weather. But don't forget, mark your calendars there for the first weekend in February. That's when we'll get together for the fellowship this year. Should be a great time. And that's going to be it. I appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and tell your friends about the channel. We're doing great lately. Thank you so much, and welcome to all the new subscribers. But I'm going to go get myself a cool shower and a change of clothes. So I hope you all have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.